Hi, everybody. Coming to you on this Monday afternoon. Currently, the Valley wind advisory is in effect. The coast high wind warning is in effect. I'm meteorologist Rod Hill coming to you from up in the Vancouver, Washington area. And on the left, I grabbed this earlier this morning when I was at KGW TV. And what an absolute textbook comma or curling image, if you will, of the low pressure center. It's vertically stacked, meaning the surface low is right underneath the upper level low. And you can see just textbook curling of the low. Almost looks like a hurricane. Remember, hurricanes are cyclones. Low pressure centers are cyclones. They both have, when they're well defined, that same circular comma shaped counterclockwise wind circulation. And you can see on the visible satellite picture the convection of the cumulus clouds right in here. So here's Portland, here's the Oregon coast, here's the Washington coast, but absolutely very impressive. A strong, low, high wind machine without doubt. In fact, I was looking at the surface low numbers on the European model. When this low was just starting to form, it had a pressure of 996 um, millibars yesterday. Now that pressure at 4 p.m. this afternoon is expected to be down to 980. So in a 24-hour period, that's a drop of 16 millibars. Remember, a bomb cyclone is partially defined by a 24 millibar drop in a 24-hour period. This was a 16 millibar drop. So not a rapid enough intensification to be classified as a bomb cyclone, but let me tell you, pretty gosh darn close. And depending on exactly how close this gets to the Oregon and the Washington coast later today, it'll be something to see how strong the winds get, at least in some spots. The current track, which I'll show you in a moment, does push this inland tonight across northern Washington and weakens it up into Canada. But basically, we are looking at valley wind gusts of at least 40-mile-per-hour gusts. Mainly this evening is the main threat area to as strong as 60, and the coast 45 to 70 miles per hour. So here is the text verbiage of the wind warning and the wind advisory that I'm watching. The Valley Wind Advisory. Maybe this gets updated to a wind warning. We'll see. This is in effect now until 4 a.m. Tuesday. South wind sustained 20 to 30, gusts 40 to 50, and maybe stronger. The coast high wind warning also until 4 a.m. Tuesday morning. South wind gusts between 50 and 70 miles per hour along the coast and maybe higher. And oh, yeah, we'll get more heavy rain bands coming through the night. And one of you mentioned this in comments to me about a lightning threat today. The indices do support convection. And actually, I know we've had an inland lightning strike. I think it was in the 11 o'clock hour this morning in Tillamook County. So the breaks in between the heavy rain bands that we're getting, the sun breaks as well, will add fuel to the potential of some lightning and thunder mixing in with these occasional rain bands as they continue to push through the area. So, with this wind event that we're kind of waiting to take place this evening, I thought I'd look back. So, this rainy season, going back to November, it was November 19th and 20th, the so called bomb cyclone. We had 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts along the coast. We had a 45-mile-per-hour wind gust in the valley here in the Willamette Valley. Remember, the most of this damage in the big headline turned out to be up in the Seattle area. And then Christmas night into the 26th of December, a wind event that produced a 62-mile-per-hour wind gust in Scappoose, 51 south gust in Salem, and 44 in Portland. This one seems to be somewhere in this category, but it will last longer. I'm going to show you that in a moment. Valley south gusts this time around 40 to 50, maybe stronger, and it could last 3 to 5 hours or 4 to 6. If we have 40-mile-per-hour wind gusts or stronger between 7 and midnight tonight, which we might, that would be an unusually long stretch for us to have one of these wind events. We don't get that often. Here is a meteogram that basically combines, pardon me, all of the different weather models. Okay, this is for Portland site specific. It basically, if you look, here's Zulu time or military time kind of. If you look, this shows the strongest winds between 4 p.m. this afternoon and 4 a.m. tomorrow morning. Peak wind speeds. So right in here is kind of the bulk of the average, and it shows at least we're getting 30-mile-per-hour wind gusts this evening. But then if you go up to 40, 45, some of the models back off, but the majority of them do in fact show 40 to 45 mile per hour wind gust potential as we roll through the evening. And then look at the number of models. There are several that go all the way up to 50 and even about 63 mile per hour wind gusts as a potential. And then the threat quickly falls off. This is tomorrow morning. So it's going to be interesting to see how strong these winds turn out or simply do not turn out to be. But the threat is absolutely real. And with the intensification of that low that I showed you on the satellite imagery, the threat is concerning. Okay, all of this brought to you by the Momentous Wealth Podcast. Listen on Apple Podcasts, listen on Spotify for a variety of investment topics. Brought to you by a local firm, Momentous Wealth Management, licensed in Oregon and in Washington. Okay, so it is in the 3 o'clock hour, or excuse me, the 2 o'clock hour. So at 2 o'clock, these were the surface hops. I thought I'd just show them to you. Still already windy at the coast. It's been windy at the coast since about 10 this morning. Gust in Astoria south to 46. Newport the same. The valley, it's more of just a noticeable breeze so far. Portland to 22. McMinnville south gust to 30. Eugene picking up south gust to 36. We had east winds in the gorge this morning, but those are now variable and they're going to start flipping around to the south. Notice the temperature is all primarily in the 50s at this hour. Okay. Here's a look at the radar. Don't forget the rain is a part of this equation. You got some heavier rain now pushing up through the Olympics. You've got what was a heavy rain band now moving up into the Cascades, and you've got various rain areas coming in from the west. So occasional rain, heavy times is going to be continuing all the way through the midnight hour as these winds start to pick up. Okay. This shows you the surface track on the American GFS model. This is 4 p.m. this afternoon. Again, it's really 4 p.m. when we think we'll start to notice some increase in wind speed. And then the main event is more like 7 o'clock tonight through midnight or even 1 a.m. But here's this low. There's 980 millibars. That matches the European model at the center. See how the isobars, the line of equal pressure right here, are really tightly packed together? This is an absolute wind machine or wind bomb, okay? So absolutely, when you get out to sea where these lines of pressure are tightly packed, you're probably looking at winds that are bouncing up to more like 85 miles per hour. I will tell you the marine forecast offshore, the marine forecast due to this low calls for combined seas to be 30 to 35 feet in height. That's overnight tonight. And then as the storm fizzles out tomorrow into the afternoon hours, the seas calm down to about 20, but that's still pretty rough. Okay, let's put this in motion, shall we? So let me just play this. This would be 9 p.m. Notice how it's tracking to the north. There's a real wind threat. North coast, 9 p.m. up into the Washington coast, and still a strong south wind fetch being pulled up the valley, chasing this low. Okay, let's go ahead and play it into tomorrow morning. Here's tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. Now you can see the low is weakened. It's starting to push inland into western Washington and eventually would dissolve up around the Canadian border. There's still a noticeable west breeze coming in tomorrow morning, but the main wind threat by 4 or 5 in the morning should be over. And we'll see some rain in the morning, and I think in the afternoon will basically become dry with the winds big time becoming calm. Here is the animation from KGW TV's Futurecast. And if you will, let me, I'm going to put this into motion. Okay, here we go. Here's 4 o'clock, 46 mile per hour winds in Newport. Already seeing that. 30 mile per hour winds from the south. Here's at 7. Now we're starting to see a 40 mile per hour wind gust in Hillsboro. Here's 9 o'clock, 40 mile per hour wind gusts are pretty uniform from Corvallis up through Portland into Vancouver. Here's a 47 gust, nearing 50 at 11 o'clock tonight. Still all south winds. And then this is going to repeat itself. But what I wanted you to get out of that was how widespread. There could be a period 8, 9 o'clock tonight where from Corvallis all the way up into Clark County, everybody's got 40 plus mile per hour winds. And some of those could hit 50, and there could be some isolated 60 mile per hour winds. Again, at the coast, a period where everybody's gusting at least a 50 plus, and there could be some 60 to 70 mile per hour winds. And then pretty breezy out across eastern areas too. There's Maupin, there's Condon, all from the south and all 30 miles per hour or greater. So this will be enough wind, even if we only spike at 45. But if Portland gets 45 mile per hour wind gusts occasionally for a period of 3, 4 plus hours, Absolutely power outages, absolutely reports of downed trees, absolutely reports of debris over roadways that can be hazardous, especially at night. I mean, if we get these winds and we have a heavy rain band coming through at the same time, driving is going to be very hazardous. So I would put those trips off and stay home tonight if that fits in your schedule as a possibility. Okay, let's go around the horn and let's start in Eugene. There's the windy verbiage. All this dies down tomorrow morning. We have the nice weather Wednesday. There's a fizzling front on Thursday that I think will give us maybe some clouds, but really no realistic shower chance. A bigger story, I think, is the near 60-degree temps with nice weather overall Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. In Salem, I think it's going to be the same. The windy conditions overnight tonight into early tomorrow morning, and then quickly fading and the storm ends. And then let's say Thursday's dry. So that's all 60-degree weather with dry weather Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Rain becoming increasingly possible this upcoming weekend. Down in North Bend, let's see what we got. Everybody's got mild temps. You've got the showers and breezy. You've got becoming sunny and dry Tuesday. The nice weather Wednesday, mainly dry on Thursday, nice weather on Friday. 60-degree temperatures down there along the south coast. Wow, really nice. Here's Bend. Okay. Everybody's been mild. 60 this afternoon. Wow. Still almost 50 tomorrow, a day that quickly becomes dry, breezy, but sunny. And then all dry and getting up into the 60s on Thursday and Friday. So that looks really nice. Okay. Out in Pendleton, we talk every day about the fact this is an auto feed from NOAA that I have no control over. And obviously the auto feed has misspelled that. And I can't fix it. 62 this afternoon, 53 Thursday, becoming dry, but still in the 50s. And even out in the Great Basin in Pendleton, upper 50s on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday with sunny skies. Really, really nice weather. Seattle, 52 this afternoon. Most of this heavy rain is expected to stay south of Seattle. They'll get decreasing clouds and they will get up into the warmth. There's near 60 on Wednesday and mid 50s on Thursday and Friday. Some cloudiness, but primarily dry. So that's not bad, right? Okay, let's go ahead and let's just go and get you into Portland 7-day forecast. Again, that interface I just showed you is on my weather site, portlandweather.com. I should mention snow levels are going to start to come down. So there is expected to be snow near or just above pass level tonight and tomorrow morning. And at 5,000 feet, there could be a foot of snowfall tonight. So FYI on that. Okay, back to Portland, mid 50s this afternoon. The wind advisory up until 4 a.m. Tuesday. We talked about this, the main threat of high winds being this evening. We talked about the winds quickly fading away tomorrow morning and the rain ending primarily by noon on Tuesday and then going on to be dry. Here's the dry 60s Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I don't see much rain this weekend. To me, it looks like an increasing PM shower chance on Saturday into Saturday night and the shower chance wrapping up on Sunday. For those of you still watching, let me get you to my Mount Hood forecast. Let's see what's going on. Timberline is cooled down to 32. Meadows is still warm at 41. That's rain. The government camp is 40, and that's rain. Look at that. They melted off about 10 to 12 inches of snow at pass level over the weekend. And that's one of the reasons we had a river flood warning in the Clackamas River because that feeds out of the Cascades. The river warnings never materialized for the rivers that primarily come out of the Coast Range, where the rain itself hasn't been enough, but certainly added snowmelt over the Cascades has. That's your update for now. I'm meteorologist Rod Hill, and I will talk to you soon.